So welcome to the workshop and to the first episode in this new series of instrument builds. I was looking through my archive of instruments, and over the last few years I've built a number of electric mandolins, and the vast majority of those have been as commissions. And it surprised me that the last time that I had built an electric mandolin on spec for sale on my website was 2017. So I thought it high time that I did another one. So that's what this series of videos is going to be about. Me building a solid body electric mandolin, which at the end of this will be up for sale on my website. So in this particular episode, what I'm looking at is the construction of the body. And if you're not really interested in the process nor the outcome, please feel free to fast forward 10-12 minutes or so to the end and you'll see the finished outcome. But if you are interested in the process, here we go. Well, no doubt you've seen my videos before, and you'll know that I don't actually like to waste any of my precious wood. Now I've got this piece of walnut here which has really got this kind of wild grain, and what I'm hoping is that I can split it, open it up, book match it, and use that as the top of a electric mandolin. Now yeah, so look at that. How good is that? That's exactly the effect that I was hoping for. So I'll clean that up now and decide on the best orientation for gluing this together. But yeah, so far so good. So there's the walnut top then ready to be joined, and you can see that wonderful pattern. What you need to imagine is that as the tree's growing, this part of it's vertical, so that's the trunk going in that direction, and these lines here are caused by a big branch coming out in this direction. I've just sealed this for two reasons really. One, because my childlike excitement wanting to see what the wood will look like, and the other reason, which is more important, is really just to seal that surface to stop it drying out too quickly. I mean, although I've had this wood in stock, I don't know, 15, possibly 20 years, this is the first time that that surface has been exposed, and if it dries out too quickly it will tend to cup. So yeah, I'm going to join that together now. So the bulk of the body is going to be made from some alder, which I've got from Stumac in the USA. The wood is obviously too thick, so I'm just in the middle of cutting it, resawing it by hand again. I mean, you could plane it, you could have a cradle or a router to take it down to the correct thickness, but if you do that, that piece of wood is then wasted. It goes into the dustbin as shavings. You know, that might be handy one day, mightn't it? So, yeah, I'm just going to stick at sawing it, resawing it by hand. So this alder is absolutely wonderful to work and plane. First time I've used it. So yeah, you can see that I've glued the two halves of the body together, and you might be thinking, what on earth has he put a walnut centre strip down the middle of the body for? Well, if I show you this, that may be a bit of a clue as to what's to come and why. Well, before I glue the walnut on top of the rest of the body, what I want to do is do a little bit of routing. So this is where the controls are going to go, and I'm going to have an end pin jack socket coming in here. the tail piece will sit around that area there. So I'm going to route a channel here, and what that will do is that will join the jack socket to the control section, and it will also allow me to run a ground wire to the tail piece. So that one channel there is quite important before I do anything else. I'm also going to route out this section here, creating a chamber. The bridge is going to go over there with a piezo transducer in it. So by routing out this kind of cavity, hopefully it gives a little bit more resonance to that area, making the piezo sound that little bit more acoustic, if you like. And then I'm going to route another channel along here, which will take the wire from the pickup. It's a bit longer than I would normally maybe do it, but at this stage I'm not quite sure where I'm going to have two pickups, or if I have one pickup where I might want to put it. I'm still mulling that one over, so that's just about leaving my options open. And if you saw my base build, the way that I will be doing this, these two straightforward for router, but this larger area I'll chop the majority of it out with a Forstner bit and then clean it up with the router. Yeah, so that's the next step. So you can save yourself a great deal of heartache and hard work if you can plan a number of steps ahead. So what I've got here are the two mini switches, the mini toggle switches, one for the humbucker and one on off for the piezo transducer. And I've got them fitting absolutely perfectly now. Because it's so difficult to do it later on. And if I turn it over, what you can see is that I've done this kind of counter bore here so that the shaft of the switch protrudes the right kind of distance this side, just to get a washer or nut on there. And then where I've counterbored it, I've squared it off to stop those switches rotating when I do the nuts up on the other side. You'll also see that I've obviously routed out these and given it a coat of the conductive paint, but I've also routed right the way through the body where the control section will go, where I need to get access to do the soldering. And I've done that now simply because it's easier. But you can only do that if you know that is going to drop on there perfectly. And you can see these holes around here. These little pegs will go in there when I glue the top on, and that will obviously stop it from sliding down and locate it perfectly. And these, so as you can see, that beautiful piece of walnut has now been glued on to the rest of the body. So what I'm going to do now is route out the pocket which will take the neck, the recess for the pickup, drill the hole for the end pin jack socket, and sort out a cover here for the control area there. And the reason I'm going to do all those jobs now before I cut the shape out is simply, whilst it's a bit meatier, it's easier to clamp and hold down to the bench. So not particularly exciting jobs, but all of course very crucial. Well, I'm glad I kept this alder offcut from the body. I had one of those kind of 3 o'clock in the morning brain waves, where I thought what I can probably do is cut out a cover here for the control section on the back of the body, and it won't be identical, but it should match the back pretty good. So yeah, as I said, save these bits of wood, you never know when you're going to need them next. So I've got my potential cover here, and what I've done is I've laminated the alder with a piece of very thin plywood, just to try to eliminate the possibility of it ever cracking. So fitting it is really quite tricky. Obviously you don't want to damage that edge which has just been routed, that nice neat clean edge. I tend to get the width right first and then just gradually offer it up at one end, and sand on the disc sander little bits off until this end fits, and then I'll do the other end. And if I'm looking at that now, I can see I just need to modify the curve a wee bit here and up there, and maybe take a shaving off the side there. Right. Oh, that's nice. So now it's time to start looking at the other end. Right, so I should be there after about 20 trips backwards and forwards to the disc sander. Let's have a look, and oh yeah, that's pretty good. I would say that that's pretty much the definition of job satisfaction. So I'm going to take that tracing paper off of there and be able to see the grain better. Yeah, so there it is. Really pleased with that. So all I need to do now is drill the holes and put the fixing screws in, and I can move on to the next job. So having done all that I possibly can do to the body at this stage, it's time to cut it out. I've just put myself a brand new 6mm blade on there, so hopefully I should be able to cut that really accurately and get in those curves nicely. Right, so that's cut out. I'll have a go on the disc sander now to clean up those edges. That part there, I haven't cut right the way to the line. I'll wait until I've got the neck glued on and the fretboard on, and then that can all be blended in nicely into the line of the neck. But yeah, so far so good, as they say. So that's about as much as I want to do to the body at this stage. As you can see, we've got the beautiful book matched walnut top there. It's all been cut out, the edges have been sanded. We've got the slot in here for the blade style pickup, the pocket here to take the neck. The bulk of the body is made out of alder. So we've got this contrasting walnut stripe going down the back there, and the control cover from a piece of matching alder there as well, and of course the hole for the end pin jack socket. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the way the body's looking at the moment, and it's a good weight too, not too heavy. So obviously the next step will be to make the neck and get that attached, but that's obviously something for the next video. So before I sign off, there's just one thing I'd like to say about this wood, this alder. as I say, it's the first time that I've used it, and what I would say about it is it's really a beautiful wood to work. You can plane it, cut it, sand it, machine it, route it, whatever, and it's really very, very compliant. So easy to work, and also because it's got a close grain, that's going to be nice to finish as well, or even take paint if you wanted to. So if you're starting out making your first couple of instruments, solid body instruments, and you're thinking, what should I make the body out of, I would really recommend trying a piece of alder for that. Yeah, but anyway, that's me done, I think, for this episode. So until the next time, you take care, and again, you know, many thanks for taking the time and the trouble to watch the video. Your support is greatly appreciated. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you again soon, and we'll get that neck glued on. So until then, you take care. Cheers.